Welcome, listeners, to another episode of The Snake Pit. I'm your host, Son of Bat, and today I'm going to be doing something a little different. I'm going to be doing an audio-only podcast review, mainly due to the fact that for this specific movie, I couldn't show any clips even if I wanted to because of how graphic and messed up it is in nature, and YouTube would take this video down in a heartbeat. I mean, they're probably going to get in trouble for talking about this movie, but showing clips would be a definite strike. So today we're going to be covering a title released recently by Massacre Video. It is a JAV film by Tamakichi Anaru, and sorry if I butchered that. For those of you who don't know, a JAV film or a JAV film is a Japanese adult video. So yes, on some level this is considered pornography. I wouldn't think so. It's pretty messed up, but you know, they be digging some really fucked up shit out there. No disrespect to my Japanese viewers if there are any. But yeah, this movie is just straight up fucked, and we're going to dive on into it right now. So buckle up. Woman's Flesh, My Red Guts is the second video in a trilogy by Tamakichi, released by Massacre Video in the recent years. The first being Tumbling Doll of Flesh, the second being My Red Guts, and the third being Suicide Dolls, most recently. My Red Guts is interesting because it's a 42-minute experimental torture flick about a woman who, from the description, because I couldn't really get any dialogue out of it, it was just hack and slash, like self-mutilation and torture. But the story is a woman is abandoned by her husband, so she copes with her grief through violence against herself. As she holds a toothbrush, she decides to use it in a violent and sexual way to release her tensions. As she inflicts horrible pain and mutilation upon herself, she hopes to relive the flood of negative emotions, but the more she harms herself, the more she wants to cause even more damage, soon covered in blood and barely alive. Yes, that summary perfectly encapsulates this whole movie. It's basically this woman sitting in her room, first off, violently masturbating with a toothbrush until we get blood, which is pretty wild. And then it ups to, if I remember correctly, self-mutilation, strangulation, self-cannibalism too. She eats one of her own fingers, spoiler alert. And she chokes herself so hard that she passes out into a dream-type state, or I guess in her final dying moments, in a DMT release in the brain, she goes into this trip where she is perfectly fine in a room. Then she proceeds to torture herself more with a fork, and she guts herself and eats her own guts a la Anthropophagus. And that was pretty wild. The effects in these movies, by the way, are really great. In Tumbling Doll of Flesh, that's a really more known one out of these three. I'd think that one goes on a little long, but again, there's another one in this series. Great effects. Suicide Dolls, same thing. Very fucked up subject, though. But anyway, the movie ends with her cutting off the end of her tongue, kind of like an Itchy the Killer. And then, yeah, it just cuts to her barely alive or dead, just on the bathroom floor. Her tongue's still intact. The only damage seeming to be from the toothbrush wank and the choking and the finger biting. But yeah, really weird movie. Definitely not for everyone. Like, if you're into like Saw or Hostel or stuff like that and you think this is going to be like that, it's not. It really isn't. It's something else. But if you're really into the edges of hardcore horror, really vile, sick, twisted shit, and you've seen the other films by this guy, I mean, go ahead and check it out. I mean, I like gore movies and splatter movies. This one isn't like... To rate it would be weird. I mean, if I'm going to go off effects alone, I'd probably give this movie like a 10 on effects. The visual distortion, like the filters they use in the movie were kind of annoying and cheap, and I felt like they could have done without that. I mean, they could have just done different lighting. That would have been pretty cool. Like, you know, some Argento-style lights, do some greens, blues, reds, something like that, because those filters were very 1999, which is when this movie was made, if I believe. Just gonna check the case here. Yeah, 1999. But yeah, no, it's something. 42 minutes, can't really go wrong. It flew by pretty fast. Yeah, crazy shit. Great release though from Massacre Video, I must say. If you do like these little off crazy kind of movies, Massacre Video always delivers with them. And this is in no way a promotion or anything like that. I just love the quality of stuff they put out. I mean, some of the movies are like dog shit, like terrible, like Venus Flytrap, for example, is a really, really poor version of House at the Edge of the Park. But just the niche films they release and like the rarity of some of their releases, it's pretty cool. And to any of you fans of more extreme Asian horror, they just released, I think, Men Behind the Sun, which is another movie I would like to cover at some point, specifically part 4, Black Sun and King Massacre. But back on to Woman's Flesh. Not much more I can say other than the gore was top notch. It was really good, really sick and disgusting shit. Like, I feel like you gore hounds out there would really dig this movie. Dialogue was like almost close to none. It was just more or less hack slash rinse repeat. And yeah, not everyone's cup of tea. I can't really recommend this to the mainstream listener out there. But hey, even if you're like curious just to see what one of these films looks like, I mean, 42 minutes, you could just breeze through it quick. You got it, champs. I believe in y'all. But yeah, so definitely not my favorite out of the trilogy, though. I would have to say Tumbling Doll of Flesh would take that part, and then maybe Suicide Dolls, which I will cover in the future. But I just figured to pick this one, quick little review, slam it out, get you guys a taste of what some of these audio onlys will be like. And yeah, if you like this, hopefully we'll get more of them out there in a quicker pace too. So hope you guys enjoyed this episode. If you want to check it out, the movie is called Woman's Flesh, My Red Guts, released by Massacre Video. Should still be on their site for purchase. And if not, you could go to fuckedupmovies.com and definitely check it out because they probably got it. So I hope y'all sickos have a good night and take it easy. Bye.